Never in our wildest dreams in our industry would we think we would see an e-ink device like this, let alone two of them. This on the left is the Light Phone 2, and what was sneakingly suspicious when we received this, we were like, wait a minute, we know something else that looks exactly like that. The Kyocera DoCoMo Phone. This is the only other conceivable thing we could ever compare the Light Phone against. Pretty convenient it all sounds like. Well, let's take a look at the units themselves. They are using the exact same screen. We guarantee that. They're both supplied from E INK, and there's no way they bought that from anywhere else because E INK is the only company in the world that sells e-reader panels outside of SES and Magatag for some labels inside electronic stores. You'll see that the Docomo on the right has physical buttons. Well, not physical buttons, but they're software-driven bezel buttons. So you have a home and a back. You also have an earpiece on the bezel there and an earpiece chiseled out of the top right there. And this doubles as a speaker package as well. The Docomo phone is miraculously thin. Way thinner in this category. Way thinner than the Light Phone, as you can see right there. They both take nano SIM, as you'll see, and you know what, the Light Phone's actually bigger in every possible dimension. It's thicker, it's wider, it's taller, just about every measurable way it's bigger. And this is actually more bulbous at the back. You'll see it's rounded, whereas the credit card phone literally fits in your wallet. It actually could. I'll bring out my wallet just to show you really quick without showing you my credit cards, and it actually does fit inside there, so you could effectively put this phone inside your wallet. What else do we have? We have a light sensor on that side, we have a light sensor on that side. I'm guessing the light sensors are the exact same as well. They're tooled almost precisely the same. You have LED indicators. You get a headphone jack on this one, 3.5mm. You don't get a headphone jack on the Docomo. You both get micro USB and you get side buttons. The Docomo has up and down, the Light Phone has up and down, but it has a secondary button as well, which the Docomo does not have, but the Docomo has those bezel driven buttons right there. And at the bottom you get a microphone, so that's all cool. This is really interesting how we just so happen to receive this sample while our Japan office deals with Docomo, and we actually sell this one, so we're like, wow guys, this is kind of a rare opportunity. So let's just take a look. And yes, that was an elongated introduction because, well, these things are so simple, there's not really anything to them, so it is just going to be kind of a quick go by here. If we go to the settings, you will see that the Docomo screen is significantly more white than that. That is really grayed out. If we tap the little buttons down there, that's your phone dial pad, and you do have the phone dial pad on here as well. If I go call on the Docomo, it is more kind of Android-y. You do get a lot of the same kind of things that you would get on an Android device. For example, if we go settings, that really looks like, you know, an Android driven phone, which it is. There's no real any way to command the screen with like swipes, you know what I mean, from the bottom up, the top down, dropping the top down, things like that. If you go to the dashboard, you can download a few things like calculator, directions, hotspot, but it is still just you can't change the inherent nature of the phone. It is quite simple. We'll go to settings and just compare the kind of settings you have here. You have Bluetooth, Wi-Fi on both of them. You have about. This one locks very quickly right out of the gate, so you'll have to change that because it's a little bit annoying. It does do beeps and boops and bloops and all that kind of stuff, but you can turn all of that off. You get these traditional app screens on the Docomo, whereas on here you don't. You just get kind of a list of things. So you get calculator, you get directions. Both of these phones, the Light Phone leaning towards that, wants you to not use the phone. The Docomo is more of a solution because you do have some things like you can change the wallpapers, you can go online, you can browse social media. So you do have a little bit more functionality on this, as you can see right here. You can go through some photos for your wallpaper and stuff like that. You really have no control over photos of any kind on the Light Phone. You can't change your background. You can't go online. You're very locked into just that. In fact, it's so, if you watch their promo video, the Light Phone is so simplistic. They don't even want you to use it. They just want you to put it down. They want you to get done with the necessities, you check your message, you answer that call, and then you put it down. The Docomo is something you could use more day-to-day than the light phone. Neither of these, don't get us wrong, neither of these will make you switch from your smartphone. There's just no way. You can put both of these on a smartphone and it's still bigger. It's still bigger, the smartphone. Now, again, it can be argued that that wasn't the way humans were meant to live and scroll through feeds all the time, but let's be real, even if you want some email, even if you want WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger or something, you just can't do it on little things like this. It's just absolutely impossible. Nothing really needs more to be said about these. I mean, outside of locking the screen, unlocking it, turning it on, these are not things you're going to be using regularly. These are not things to replace what you have. It's just not realistic. If you're in any sort of field that involves electronics, you need to check your email, you need to contact your loved ones. You can't do anything in this day and age. This existed, the usability of these was a very small window between before smartphones were really at its peak and today. There was a very small window where these made sense. That's why they both came out around the same time, 2018, 2019, and it made sense for 4 or 5 years ago, but it doesn't make any sense anymore. I'm not saying you have to spend 3 hours on your phone every day, because that's just not the way to do it, but these just don't really feel like they fit into this world that we currently live in, where so much is tied into digital payments and scanning your maps and things like that. Just things that these really just don't have a good handle on. That was it, everyone. It's just a fun little video because just so happened that when the light phone came out, we just so happened to have something that looks almost identical. It was coincidental as it comes. Let us know if you guys have any other questions on either of these two oddities. For GoodyReader.com, this is Peter.